Well, just by the look of me, I do, but no, I don't. Everyone stay the F away from me.
I think nothing would be better for this show today is if Derpy would give Mike a big virtual hug. That would make this show. I think that would make this show pretty good today. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Dum Yinzers. This is episode 286, fellas. A little bit going on here before we got on the air today. Mike is Penguins didn't work out for us, and I thought last night after the Islanders game, I thought Mike's going to be in a mood tomorrow. So as I was getting on and I was getting ready this morning, Derpy says, I think Mike needs a hug. And I'm assuming that's what he's talking about. I don't know. But Derpy, I think so. I think you're right. I think Mike could use a big hug, man. If you wanted to just give him a virtual big hug today, that would be great, man.
I have my hand hovering over the end button. Okay. Not just kicking people out the party. I'm just nuking the show from orbit today.
You can blow him a kiss. And the thing about it now, Derpy has this image on the screen here, as you can see. Derpy, talk. Would you say something?
The pen's done pens.
See, I like that. Look at that. That mouth moves on that little dog. So you could literally give Mike a big hug, or
Bow wow.
You two are killing me today.
Emotional damage.
We, of course, are talking about the Pittsburgh Penguins. They lost. They got eliminated. They got eliminated from the playoffs. Rightfully so. I think that we could say that now that it's all said and done. The Pittsburgh Penguins, they got knocked out last night. They didn't play. However, the Islanders of New York and the Canadiens of Montreal did play. And the deal was, if the Canadiens won, the Penguins would then have another chance. They would play tonight against Columbus, which they still do, but there is no chance to get in the playoffs. They've been knocked out. So what happened was the Islanders win, which meant last night at roughly 9:30, the Penguins season ended. They didn't get a chance to take on the Blue Jackets for that spot. It was already taken care of for them. And it was, nobody else's fault but their own. They get this Blackhawks team 2 nights ago, worst team in the league. All you got to do is beat these guys, and you're in good shape. They couldn't get it done. Hey, but you know what? A 17-year run is as good as any. It's better than every. As a matter of fact, if you look at all the active streaks and going to the playoffs, this is nothing to be ashamed of, nothing to hang your head about, because again, if you went 17 times in a row, not many people through the history of sports can even say that. So it was a pretty amazing run. And as I said, I think that we should reflect and say, you know what, let's appreciate what this group of guys, this core group of guys, was able to do over those 17 years. They brought 3 Stanley Cups. They went to a 4th Stanley Cup. And a bunch of other amazing accomplishments. There's really, there's not enough time in a day to even research and find everything that they did. Because if you go and you look at what they've done individually, the statistics, the numbers, these 3 guys, you're going to be there for a week just trying to pull up the information.
Mm-hmm.
You really got to give it to this team, and it sucks at the end of the day because your team isn't in there to watch. But you know what? Nobody could say that they got to watch their team in the playoffs as many consecutive years as we did, and that that's a good feeling as well. Next year,
I'm sorry not to cut you off, but 16, 17 years. 3 Stanley Cup championships, one other cup final appearance where they could have had a 4th against, that tough Devils team, the tough Red Wings team. How many other years were they were competitive to where, they were a threat to win it all? They had a remarkable run.
Absolutely. It's a run like no other. Again, people would be very, people from other cities, Mike, Derpy, would be just thrilled to have this honor and to be able to say that. And then at the end of 17 seasons would be totally happy with that. again, we just became so accustomed to this team getting in. I didn't think, even all the way down to the end, I didn't think to myself that this team was not going to make the playoffs. I really thought they were going to pull it off. I thought that after it came down to that last situation, I thought beating the Blackhawks was step one. I thought they was going to get the job done against the Blackhawks, and then things were going to work, and we were going to beat the Blue Jackets, and we would be playing here in the next week. But that's not the case. I was really, and there's not much that supports otherwise. Even, if things aren't going that great, this team has always found a way to get it done, especially with these three guys leading the way. I until, like I said, 2 days ago, to last night, I deep inside, I thought that the Pittsburgh Penguin team would be in the playoffs. So I'm not disappointed. Again, I mean, it's just a chance to look back and reflect and say, you know what, how cool is that? We got to enjoy something that not many people ever have or is going to enjoy. So, as I said, I take this as an opportunity to reflect and really appreciate what had happened over these past, almost 2 decades. Oof. And I mean, these are Tom Brady kind of numbers and shit. And so, I mean, as I said, it stinks because we don't have anybody to watch starting next week. And and some people may say, you know what, I wouldn't have want to watch this team anyway. Which I get that as well.
BS. I want to watch my teams in the playoffs.
Exactly.
Whether we're going to win or not, I want to see them in the playoffs.
That's how I feel too. I want to, I mean, that's your team. You want to watch them play, and you want to root for them, and you want to get pissed off, and you want to, the whole thing. But as I said, I think that this is time that people could really appreciate what we just had. You know what? We probably won't see this again in any of our sports for a long time, if ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead, man.
No, I was just thinking. I was just agreeing with you. Like you said, how we're spoiled here in Pittsburgh.
We're spoiled, and I like it. You know what I mean? I would rather be spoiled than be one of these cities that just have nothing. You know what I mean?
But it kind of makes us ungrateful. I'm seeing a lot of people like complaining, even throwing Gino and Crosby under the bus for this thing. It's like, come on now.
Right.
Even if they're not scoring, they're doing the things they need to do to help you win. And I'm sorry, expecting them to be the ones to carry you at their advanced age, get out of here.
Yeah.
Yes, they were great players. If this was like 5, 6, 7 years ago, yeah, they should have been the ones carrying them on their backs. They did what they could do at their advanced age. But you know what I mean? At their age, how many years in the league? They were healthy, but come on, they can only do so much now. Like the skills, they're not the dominant players they once were. They're still dominant, but they aren't what they once were. So to put it all on them, I'm sorry, it's to me, that's just BS. But we're spoiled, so this kind of stings more.
There's 30 other teams that would love to have this problem.
Yeah. But I just, if they can have a good offseason, get a GM in here who knows what he's doing, and just turn the arrow up. The arrow's going down right now. Just a slight uptick is all this team needs.
Yeah.
If they can come back in and play the way they did, and it's kind of showing that, okay, you figure Crosby has been, even this year, the year before, he's still putting up numbers. If Gino can be healthy again, okay, he's showing he can put those numbers up again. We just need a couple little pieces here and there. If we're able to keep Zucker, somehow find a way to keep him. You already have Rackle, you'll have Gensel. Okay. Just work on the goaltending and defense and a couple bottom six. This team could, guess what? The run could start anew next year. And that's exciting. For once, I'm going to be a positive fan. It's usually not my nature. I usually look for the negative, but I'm going to find the positive. Like, it's not going to take much to turn this team around. They just have to find someone who knows what they're doing. And hopefully this ownership group will take the time, do their due diligence, and get a GM who is willing to do what it takes to get this team to where they need to be, realizing, hey, the window have been just a little bit closed this year, but you get some goaltending. Guess what? That window is going to open. Get some defensemen, get that bottom six up. That window is going to open more and more. It seems like it's slammed shut, but there's still some gap in there. That window is not closed. You get a couple pieces here and there. This team could rebound and you have a nice little playoff run.
My perspective on things has changed briefly, just recently, since Omar Khan and Weidl had done what they did with the Steelers, because I mean, being a Steeler fan, you've kind of just become accustomed to the way that we handle things when it comes time for the free agency, the draft. What they did, Mike, they really showed me that you could really be proactive and you could really make a change. And instead of one of the things that I really that disturbs me in a way is when there's a team in a bad situation and it's obvious to a million fans and the coach gets up there and says, well, this is who we are. So what? You're okay with stinking? You're okay.
Yeah.
So I think that this could be fixed, and I think, like I said, if anything, it could be a lesson taught from the Steelers to the Penguins, because again, I was under the impression there was only so much you could do. Well, geez, oh man, this guy Omar Khan came in and he just turned the system upside down, and he basically build a whole new I think that this can get fixed, and as you said, it's probably just a few tweaks here and a few tweaks there, but their hands should not be tied. There should be a way for this organization, the Pittsburgh Penguins, to rebound, to start building this back up, and to do what they need to do to put the right people in the right places to win hockey games and get them back on the right track. I'm really against this. Well, it's who we are. It's bullshit. And so you're, like I said, you're totally fine with sucking. That's who you are. I mean, that should never be the case. You should always have some kind of a game plan. If this is your job, if this is your position, this is what you get paid ample money to do, to be a GM, this is what separates the men from the boys. And that's one thing that I learned, Mike, from this Omar Khan. And I'm going to pay attention to the Penguins here moving forward, because again, they're not that far off. It's not that they're this terrible team. They're not the bottom dwellers. That's not the case. This is going to come down to the GM and people in the office sitting down, coming up with a game plan, and being able to put a competitive team out on that ice, opposed to what just happened. And so, like I said, I just think that I learned a lot, and I think Pittsburgh fans. I mean, you always see other teams being proactive and really moving around, but a lot of times it doesn't work. We have good foundation as Pittsburgh sports teams.
Yeah.
So if you start building off of that and working around, and like I said, look at what Omar Khan, and I hate to keep saying it, but look at what Omar Khan did with this Steeler team that was pretty rough last year. And I just say, somehow, some way, whoever is going to make these calls within the Penguin organization, they need to make these calls. They need to make it happen. And you know what? And as I said, we just have to appreciate and accept the fact that we weren't going to go to the playoffs every single year for the rest of eternity. That's just not going to happen. It's unrealistic. As much as we
are. It's our birthright.
Right. So I do, Mike. I see things getting better. As you said, it's not going to take a whole lot. I think maybe a few moves here, a few moves there, getting younger legs in here, working on them bottom two lines. Maybe. I mean, how much, depending on, I mean, how much do you trust your goalie? They have this young guy.
They have to go new goal. They have to get new goaling.
And the thing is, the guy, Jari, he has a nice future. He has an amazing amount of wins for the amount of time he's been in the league. But you, as a fan and as a coach, and especially people that work in the office as GMs and things like this, you should be able to see that this guy has issues. He has injury issues. And he's inconsistent when he comes, because he's not always available. As you said, the best ability is availability, and if you don't have availability, you're coming in, you're playing spot starts, and you're not creating that you're not getting in a rhythm. And the goalies, I think that definitely needs to be taken care of. As you said, try to sign Zucker, get these younger legs in the bottom two lines. So I mean, there are things that can be done, and as I said, 100,000 people sit around and come up with these solutions online, as we are. People that make a lot of money, I hope, would be able to do the same and be able to to fix this team and turn it in the right direction. And I think that's going to happen, Mike. So
do I. It's just the salary cap issues that we have on this team, or some of these contracts, it's going to be a struggle. But my God, the top three aren't taking up a lot of cap space.
Yeah.
So that you have to find a way to make it work. And I'm
you have
hoping
to part with one of those guys, Mike.
Who
is it?
Oh, Oh
I know
God,
it hurts.
It hurts to say. Crosby's not going anywhere. None of them can go anywhere. But if one of them would like take a move, maybe like Letang. I could see him maybe like okaying a trade to Montreal to go back home, to end his career there. Because that was like one of the rumors. Like he might, like if he didn't resign here, he's going to resign with the Canadians. So I think like he would be the one to move now. Like after like one of the failed playoff runs, it would have been Gino, because he was still like peak of his powers. He would have been the one to move then. Now I think it might be Letang if he wants to go. They're like, hey, if we can work a trade out, do you want to go home like your last couple of years play for Montreal? He has a no movement clause, so he would have to okay it. But if I would have to move one, I don't want to move any of them, but it would be Letang, because I think you can get the most return for him now.
Yeah,
and we need legs, we need speed.
But things though, he still has speed. He still has he takes up a lot of good minutes on that defense, good positive minutes. But I think maybe Letang, because like Gino, you can still get for him, but now okay, your top six is what carried the team. So I would say Letang. 3 years ago, I would have said Malkin.
Yeah.
So it's weird how the times change. Where
we just need youth.
They need youth, a lot of youth, but you have to have a coach who's going to trust the youth, and Sully doesn't want to trust the youth. So hopefully, he's going to be told like, look, if you still want to coach here, we're going to get you young players, and you have to play them. No if, ands, or buts about them. This is who you have. This is who you're playing. Because he still wants to play a speed game, and to do that, you like Derpy said, you need youth, you need young legs.
Absolutely. So do you still need that hug or what, man?
No, I was good. It wasn't the Penguins that got me.
Derpy said HUG, get him from me.
Nope. I don't want a hug from either of you two. Y'all just keep your distance from me.
How about a star?
Hey, do you want a star? Do you want
a No.
Smiley face.
If I like right now, okay, I flipped over to finish the thumbnail, and if it is what I think it is, what you guys are doing over here, I am ending the stream. What? Okay, there's no. I was waiting to see like hearts and stuff popping up on my screen.
Oh, not yet. We're working on that. But the Penguins they are back in action tonight. Oh wow, there you go. Look at Mike. They're back in action.
How do I get this off? How do I get this off?
Oh, see, now you're stuck with it. You could have a dumb heart on your thing the rest of the day.
I don't know how to change that. I don't know how to get that off there.
Derpy sent that to you from Ohio State with love.
No, I put that on there for me. I will hit end stream by mistake.
Derpy couldn't. He was going to send the turd one over as the Penn State present in the heart for the Ohio State.
Yes.
I hate both of you right now. Just gonna throw that out
But
there.
as I was saying, the Pittsburgh Penguins, this life still does go on at least for one more night. The Penguins are at Columbus tonight to finish it off with their season finale with the Blue Jackets. Blue Jackets are 24-47-9. The Penguins are 40-31-10. I'm convinced that the Penguins are probably going to go and just annihilate the Blue Jackets just because it doesn't mean anything, and it's just a very Pittsburgh thing that happened. I could see the Penguins going over and winning this game 7-1, something like that. I'll
be okay with that. Just go out there and humiliate. Take all your frustrations out on Columbus.
Yeah.
Go out there and have fun for one last game. Just have fun.
So,
oh God, I can't stand. I finally brought it up on YouTube, and then there's Derpy.
What
that little dog?
I like it. Could you change the dog's clothes? Can you put like a Steeler hoodie on him or something?
No.
Can you pick your nose? Can you pick your nose?
I think I'd have to have the camera on.
Oh, okay.
I don't think the body moves.
I don't think it does. Just the mouth.
Mouth. Just the mouth and the eyes. I think the eyes automatically just move periodically.
I see. Pittsburgh Pirates. It was not a happy day in Pittsburgh. I could tell you that yesterday. It was not a happy day. The Penguins, they get eliminated from the playoffs. The Pirates, they played the rubber match game with the Astros. It didn't go well. Rich Hill was on the mound, which I just, at first I thought I was the only one, and I thought, you know what, why am I the only one that sees that this guy is terrible? I mean, he's obviously too old to be pitching in the majors. He comes out yesterday, didn't throw a bad game. However, we lost 7-0, which you would think that he threw a bad game, but he pitched 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and no strikeouts. Not a good game by any means, but I think
that's reasonable.
It is reasonable. As long as you have this guy in the rotation, I think this is going to be your Achilles heel all year. Every start that he had.
The pen lost you the game, huh?
What's that? The bullpen did lose the game. The pen
lost you the game. Yeah.
And it was really, with the exception of the one game that we beat somebody 13-9. I can't think it was the White Sox or the Red Sox, but that was the only game that was actually won when he started. I don't think that he got the win for that just by the way the score bounced around. But this guy, it's almost like inevitable doom when he pitches. You just kind of have this feeling, and there's been pitchers like that over the past. You just know when they pitch, they're not going to. He's over the hill, man, and no pun intended, but 43 years old. Yes, your veteran leadership is probably valued, but that's got to be about it. This guy, Mike and Derpy, if and here's the thing, you're sitting at 7-5.
Wait, the man's 43 years old.
He's older than the. I don't know how old Derek Shelton is, but I mean, for crying out loud, he can't be that far off. I mean, 43 years old, this guy. That's crazy.
And he's still pitching.
He's in a starting rotation. We're 1 game behind Milwaukee. We're heading into this 4-game set with the St. Louis Cardinals, who it's a very winnable set. The Cardinals are coming in at 5-7. They had very little luck with the Brewers. So hopefully we could take advantage. We could take advantage of this Cardinals team not playing good right now, and especially in a 4-game set, go over there, win some games. But this Rich Hill, he's gonna keep this in your mind, because as I said, I can't understand what they're thinking. I would begin looking somewhere else if I was them. What do you think, Derp?
Yeah. He should not be in your rotation at that age.
No.
Excellent analysis, Derpy. Yeah.
I tell you what, Mike.
He shouldn't be in your starting rotation at all at that age.
Give me a little bit of insight on that, Derpy. I just have to make a real quick adjustment with my light here. I'll be right back.
Come on, Derpy. Who should they get? So Rich Hill, we keep him, cut him, or keep him, trade him. You don't like him.
He's all right. It's just, if you're gonna get Pete, you can't have someone at home there.
Yeah, but will this team be able to find anyone better? That's the thing.
That's the thing. Yeah, I mean,
I don't think they will be able to.
Maybe.
I just don't understand
Florida has some guys down there.
Florida.
Yeah.
But who would they have to give up to get a quality, to get a starter? There would be no one off the major league roster, do you think?
Maybe prospects.
Prospects?
And maybe,
if they give up prospects,
maybe a key guy.
If they give up prospects, they better get it like someone who's going to turn out to be like an ace of the staff.
Here's the thing. I don't think they need anything great. I don't think they, I don't think we're looking for an ace.
But why not go for great?
Because I just don't think that's what you're going to get with replacing Rich Hill. But
if you trade for someone and get a better,
they actually have a night. I mean, their pitching ain't bad. The Mitch Keller, the ace right now, he's pitched in 3 games, 17 and 2/3 of an inning. He has 23 strikeouts, which is 4th in the MLB. He's let up 16 hits, 7 earned runs. He has a 3.56 with a little over 11 Ks per 9 innings, and he's 1-0. I mean, our pitchers aren't bad. Our starting pitchers aren't terrible. Again, I think the starting pitching is the weaker part of this team. However, if you're going to start with Rich Hill, I just, like I said, and as you guys were saying as well, it's going to be tough to go out and get that ace. And what is this team going to be willing to give up? Because they finally do have pieces in place. So I think just going out and getting somebody that's, under the century mark, age-wise, would benefit these guys.
I would just might as well.
I mean, the ball looks like a beach ball coming across the plate when he pitches.
Like, if you think this team's going to, if you're going to be able to compete and you need better pitching, I have no problem. Trade prospects to get starting pitching. If that's what this team needs is starting pitching, trade for it. Get better starting pitching. I would have, to where you have Rich Hill. Okay, we're going to move him to the bullpen to where he doesn't have to start. He can be a long reliever if we need him, or if he doesn't like that, guess what, buddy? This is what you are now. Okay, well, you may not be starting here. You're going to find something else.
Yeah.
Just do something with them.
And the thing is,
I'm all about getting better, get better.
And he kind of fell in that same trap that a lot of players, when they come to Pittsburgh, they become a liked guy. And people forget why they're here.
Mm-hmm.
And people like Rich Hill, and they think he's a nice guy, and they think he's good for the locker room. And, I don't know. He kind of fell into that. I just wonder, because as I said, as you watch baseball over time, you find out there's always one starter in the rotation that you would least like to have in there in big game situations. And Rich Hill is certainly that guy for us. We just have to figure out how to dance around that and make it work. If it's not going to work, we got to do something. As I said, it's a long time till the trade deadline where we're going to actually start considering buying or selling, things like that. So, what do you do at this point in the season? How long do you let this guy fail before you even attempt to do anything? You know what I mean? I don't know if that's a Pirate thing or if that's just a baseball thing. And
I think it's it's a sports thing. People hate to make moves early.
Yeah.
And I hate to harp on it, but that's why, like, Jim Rutherford, to me, that's why he was successful. He had no problem going, oh, hey, we suck. Guess what? We're fixing this stuff now. We're doing it early. We're not waiting until, trade deadline. We're doing it now.
It's so hard to watch.
I think more GMs should embrace that philosophy, because why wait till you suck to change?
It's so hard to watch. You're watching, and like I said, the owners know, and the coaches. I mean, because come on, if us fans out here sitting here watching this guy throw beach balls over the plate and getting knocked out of the park 2-3 times a game, it's just frustrating. And again, when he's not on the hill, I feel fine. We get the other guys out there. We get Contreras. We get, anybody else, and you're fine. He's just, he's an exception as well, because again, he's 43 years old. 43. Come on, dude. You're not doing anybody any good by hanging on here. You know what I mean?
But hey, this our baseball contracts guaranteed. So if they send them down, they're still gonna have to pay them. And this owner, he's not gonna want to pay them. I
don't give a shit who they have to pay. I just think that he sucks on the hill, and they got to figure something out.
He sucks. But hey, this is what the Pirates do, man. They're gonna if they can save a penny somewhere, they're gonna do it. This is what's going to happen. We're stuck with it.
Colin Holderman, Pirates reliever. He leads the majors in holds.
There we go.
Kind of matches up with the name Holderman.
We got holds. We got saves.
We got holds, saves. We have an ace.
We got. We're playing some poker, boys.
We got, like I said, there's a few things here and there, but again, for the Pittsburgh Pirates, we're in a pretty good spot. These are, problems. I hate to keep saying, but these are problems that you would like to have. There could be a whole other list of problems that the Pittsburgh Pirates have that we could be complaining about and trying to figure out and chasing our tails with, but that's not the case. The Pirates are starting to have good problems. So, let's see how this plays out. Again, they start a 4-game set with the Reds. The Reds are 3 games out of first place. Or I'm sorry, the Cardinals, the Redbirds, 3 games out of first place, 2 games behind the Pirates. This, I think, is going to be an interesting series, guys. I really do, because again, the Cardinals are never a bad team. I don't know what they have this year. They're just, as a franchise, you talk about the Penguins, you talk about the Lakers, you talk about the Yankees, you talk about the Steelers. These teams are never bad for long. And when you get out on the field against them, you always see a different team, no matter what the record is, because they're consistent. And it's going to be a good series. And guess what? There's 4 games, and we get pitchers 3, 4, 5, and 1, which means no Rich Hill, and that's a good thing. So maybe these 4 outings against the Cardinals could be successful, and then we'll start up against the next team with Rich Hill and take the L and start over from there.
More Rich Hill, the better. I'm all about give me some Rich Hill, baby.
This weekend, guys, Pitt's got the blue gold game down at the Acrisure Stadium at 1:00 on Saturday. Following the game, if you're going to go down to the stadium, if you like Pitt, you're a fan of the Panthers, after the game, there's going to be post-game autographs. When the game is over, the line up at the staircase at section 115. Section 115 staircase. after the game at Acrisure Stadium, and they will be signing autographs, and there will be posters available as well for you to get autographs signed on.
I like it.
I do too. There's a lot of football things coming up, especially this weekend. I'm super excited, guys. We're going to go over. I got the some USFL information here regarding our Maulers. We got some Steeler talk. Obviously, the draft is only 2 weeks away. It tells Mike starts to itch.
I'm getting itchy. I'm reading more and more about the draft. I am getting more and more mock
now is
drafts.
When you're supposed to talk about the draft.
Yeah, I know, but I can't wait.
These people that were doing mock drafts in February, for crying out loud. I mean, you don't even know what teams are going to want.
This guy.
Right, you have free agency. You have no idea what you're going to need by the time the draft comes around. You don't. Our whole situation changed drastically, because you know what I mean. Who would have thought that we would be sitting this nice going into the draft, and now we have options. Now we could look around and see how we want to handle the draft, opposed to before we need. You know what? We went and we filled a lot of those needs, and if not at a starting capacity, as depth. So that makes things a lot easier. What do you think?
Well, like, speaking of that, I was just reading on the Athletic, Mark Caboli and one of the other Steeler writers. Sorry, his name's it's slipping my mind, but DeFabio, I think who it was. They had like fans submit their mock drafts, and they broke it down by like, okay, X amount of percentage wanted this player, that player, and they did it by position, by draft position, and by position where they were picked, frequency, the round, and they kind of critiqued a couple of the drafts, and one was like, Caboli's like, if you'd have told me this draft like 2-3 months ago, I would have loved it because it was beefing up the defensive line and the offensive line. But he was like, but free agency came, like you said, along, and you kind of don't need to draft these players now because we beefed up the interior line, we beefed up the defensive line. So now you really don't have to get these guys all throughout the draft, maybe one or two here or there. So it's like you said, man, now's the time to get heavy into the mock drafts.
Yeah, now's the time. You're 2 weeks out. I mean, I remember we were sitting at 6 weeks a month ago, and I said
that was me. I said
on the show, I said, we're and I think we had a writer, an email come in. When are you going to start covering the draft? I'm thinking, cause it's November. We got
season's
time.
over. It's time for the draft. The minute we are eliminated, it is time for the draft.
But like I said, it just seems wasteful to me. It's a lot of just pure speculation at that time, and empty wants and empty. It's hard for me
to at the Super Bowl. It's time.
It's hard to take that seriously that early. That's all I'm saying.
It's because you're a hater.
I am. It's true.
It's damn true.
One thing that I do want to say, yes, the Pitt Blue Gold game is Saturday, 1 o'clock at Acrisure Stadium. Get down there, check it out. One interesting tidbit I read about Pitt. I think Penn State might even fall in this category as well. Just bear with me. Pitt football, they won 20 games over the past 2 seasons. That ranks 8 nationally. And they've been consecutive top 25 for 2 seasons. We're talking just about over the past 2 seasons. Top 25 over the past 2 seasons, 2021 ACC champion and 2022 Sun Bowl champion. Only 9 teams achieved that, if you put those all together in ways. Again, this is people digging up stats.
Yeah.
And so good for them. Follow this team. Get out there, support your team. Of course, we had some guys graduate. We have some guys going to the NFL. But this team is still strong. There's a strong defense. There's a strong core to that defense, the defensive linemen, the linebackers, and, of course, MJ Devonshire in the defensive backfield. It's going to be a good team. With Pitt, it always comes down to the quarterback with me. We got a couple of guys.
Jerkovich
it seems like they're going to go with him. I don't know. I got to see these guys play, but we never get that. I don't know. But
you never have that guy. But hey. I'm going to say something that's going to sound like I'm being mean, taking a shot, but I'm not. Just remember, like, those first 4 years that Kenny was here, everyone thought we need to get someone. Then that last year, he had that magical year finally click for him. Be patient with the quarterbacks you have, unless you have someone who's going to come in
and that's
and
the
right away be a star. Sometimes you have to be patient with these guys.
And that's the thing with Pitt. I mean, that's always been the case. We never do get that top guy, the guy that you mentioned. KP8. He came and he got better every year. He improved. He proved that he could do that. He, matter of fact, did it so well he became a Heisman candidate. So I agree with you, Mike. And there's, this is a school that is never going to get that top guy out of high school. I understand that. It's just, it's the way that it is, and it's something that we are definitely used to, probably all the way back to Dan Marino. So, whether Jerkovic works out, whether he does it, I will be curious, and I can't wait to see how things go this weekend and see, how some of the progress of some of these players is coming along. But I'm excited, man. Whatever level you want to talk about football on, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for pros. I'm ready for college. I'm ready for high school.
Yes.
I'm ready for arena, whatever you got. I'm ready for it, man.
Speaking of college, I can't wait to watch Drew Allar. I always mispronounce his name, up at Penn State, to see what he can do, because we were all clamoring to get him in there instead of Sean Clifford. I just can't wait to see what he can do.
I've seen him play.
You seen him play?
Yeah, he's mentor, right? He's from Ohio. He's from.
He's legit.
He's good though. He's good.
He's legit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see him play. I hope he lives up to the hype.
I'm still trying to get used to Derpy being a cartoon dog.
I know, it's kind of throwing the vibe off.
Yeah.
It's throwing the vibe off here. Okay. Derpy's avatar might be the best looking thing on the screen right now, so I can't have that. Normally it's me. So now I'm being upstaged by a cartoon dog.
Okay? I'm in space.
I used to have the in space thing. I have the White House background too.
All right.
The show's about to go off the rails. I'm about to start changing my background.
All right. So of course, a lot of people know that the defensive the cornerback is a big thing for us. We went out and we got Pat Pete from the Vikings, which I think is nice. I mean, Patrick Peterson is still, at his age, is considered one of the, better corners at his age. So, that wasn't a bad thing, but it's no secret that we are still out here looking for cornerback. Mike, let me give you the last 6 cornerbacks drafted by the Steelers, and let's take a look at how we, we draft and mold these cornerbacks in the pros. I like Derby's the cow.
Keep the cow. I like the hoodie.
The last 6 cornerbacks that we drafted, Mike. 2019, Joshua Lane. Joshua Lane. 2017, Cam Sutton.
Good pick.
2016, Artie Burns.
Good year. One good year.
2016, Sean Davis.
He was a safety. He had a decent year.
2015, Senquez Goldson.
Hurt all the time.
In 2015, Doran Grant.
Oh, he never saw the field.
So, here's the thing. I mean, we're generally usually a semi-successful team, to say the least. So getting high cornerbacks has never been a priority. Yeah. But that is the last 6 cornerbacks that we drafted, Mike.
Only one was in the first round.
Yeah. Yes.
Artie was in the first round. He had pretty good rookie campaign. But then his play fell off. A lot of that, what happened off the field. He had it. Next thing he was a NFL rookie. The next thing you know, he's having to take care of his brothers and sisters.
Right.
So, whatever happened after that, hey, I'm happy he's still in the league. Good for you, Artie. Said Coons Golston, that was a Kevin Colbert special. He thought he was going to be something great, but he was always hurt. Grant, I don't think he ever saw the field. Sean Davis, he was in that rookie class. He was a safety along with Artie Burns. He had a good rookie year. That second year, hey, let's line him up one-on-one against Gronk. Brilliant strategy. No wonder he washed out of the league. He shot his confidence. So, and Cam Sutton, he was a slow work in progress and finally developed into what he is now. So right now, recent history, not that great, but let's take this back a little bit further. Do you mind if I go back a little further?
No, please.
Don't forget about Big Play Willie Gay, Bryant McFadden, Deshae Townsend, Ike Taylor, Keenan Lewis, who when he we couldn't keep him in free agency. He went down to the Saints and was a star cornerback. So it's
how about that?
It's I like that background. So it's a hit or miss bag with the team. It seems to be about 50-50 drafting defensive backs. And in the draft, 50-50 is what you get.
Yeah.
It's not always on coaching to develop players. If you have talent, I have a feeling our coaching staff will get something out of you. And if you have talent and we weren't able to get something out of you, you'd be able to go somewhere else and that talent would come out. And these guys that have left here, Golston, Grant, they never developed. Brian McFadden, when we first had him, he was seen as kind of a bust, but he went to the Cardinals, developed himself into a better player than he was here, then came back and he continued to grow. So, it's a mixed bag. I don't think it's all on this coaching staff. It's, it could be on the scouting department too. We thought, something was there and it wasn't. So I have no problem with the Steelers taking a cornerback. I think it's stupid to go, we never developed them. So why are we going to handicap ourselves going into a draft? And we're not going to take a high rated prospect that people think is can't miss just because we had some bad luck.
Yeah.
That would be stupid. That's like saying, we've had bad luck now drafting safeties from. We haven't drafted a good one since Polamalu, or great one since Polamalu. We only had Sean Davis and Edmonds, and they didn't turn into all-star, all-world players, so we'd never draft in a safety again. And it's kind of stupid.
As of right now, the cornerbacks on this team are Levi Wallace, Patrick Peterson, Ahkello Witherspoon, Arthur Millette, and James Pierre. So let's say
we need help.
Yeah. So let's say we add one of these big names that everyone keeps talking about, these corners. That name, Levi Wallace, Patrick Peterson, Witherspoon, Arthur Millette, James Pierre. Are we going to be this one guy that we do draft? And we're going to draft a corner. There's no doubt about it. How much does that improve, especially if he is a plug and play, especially if he is, one of these top 3 corners that I keep hearing these names over and over and over? Does it drastically improve our passing defense, Mike? Or, is this going to be something that, what do you think?
I think it does. I think there's more than 3 that would be able to go right and play. Gonzalez, I think he's just a step below Sauce Gardner. I think he's going to be a star, like a superstar in the league. God, his name's escaping me. Out of Illinois, Witherspoon. Yeah, I think he's going to be a plug and play. Joey Porter Jr. I think is going to be a plug and play. Deontay Banks out of Maryland. I think he's going to be able to be a plug and play. Look at it like Cam Smith out of South Carolina. I think he's a sneaky pick. I think he's going to be taken in the second round. Wouldn't surprise me. Maybe if he slips to the early third, I think he will be another player that can go boom, plug in and play. I think there's guys later in the draft. You bring them along slow. By the end of the year, they're your starter. Because right now, Levi Wallace, Patrick Peterson are locked on starters. From there, it's Ahkello Witherspoon. He's going to be fighting with the rookie to be that third corner.
Right.
Who's going to be the slot? There's going to be spots there. I think it's going to it's going to improve that defense, improve that secondary. Whoever we pick, but I think they have to be picking in the top 2, or one of the top 3 picks has to be a corner. And if they trade up, and I would die if they traded up and were able to get Gonzalez at 9. I would die. You get a lockdown. I think he goes boom. He starts day 1 across from Peterson.
We do this. We have the 17th pick. If in fact we don't trade it up with the Bears, we were sitting at 17, Mike. The last time we had a 17th pick, it was in 2013, and we selected Georgia linebacker Jarvis Jones.
Yes, let's draft let's draft someone with spinal stenosis that ended Stone Cold Steve Austin's wrestling career, where they protect people. We thought it would be okay to draft an outside linebacker with spinal stenosis where there's no protection.
Right. And Derpy also sent me over this draft from 2018. Let's go through the 2018 draft real quick, Mike, and let's get our let's get your take on the 2018
I
draft.
sent something else too that we might want to discuss.
So the first round pick in the 2018 draft was Terrell Edmonds. Number 2, James Washington. 3, Mason Rudolph. 3, Okafor. First pick in the 5th, Marcus Allen. Second pick in the 5th, Jalen Samuels. 7th pick, and their final pick was Joshua Frazier.
All right, so the first overall pick, we got it was a 4-year starter.
Yeah.
Here in Pittsburgh. So it's more than most teams get out of their first round pick. Washington turned out to be a bust. We thought he was going to be a big play guy. Mason, famously, Kevin Colbert said we had a first round grade on him. We loved him so much. We know how that turned out with Mason. Actually, his record really wasn't that bad here for a backup quarterback. He was what he was. Really wasn't given the chance to develop, but that's what happens when you're a third round pick and you have a future Hall of Famer in front of you that's really wasn't going anywhere. Chooks turned out to be a starter. He turned himself into a starting offensive lineman the past couple years. So not bad. Your first 4 picks, you end up with 2 starters. Okay. Jalen Samuels still on the team. Special teams player. Marcus Allen, still a special teams player. Not bad for a 4th round pick. And Frazier, I don't think he ever made the team. Or if he did, he wasn't here long. So you have 2 starters and 2 special teamers.
What grade do you give this draft, Mike? Realistically,
a B, because you had 2 starters and 2 key special teams players. That's a B for me.
Marcus Allen never did it for me,
but I understand that. Yeah, but he's what he is.
And as he went on over time, he proved me right. I'm going to start at the bottom here. Joshua Frazier, as you said, I don't even think he made the team.
What position was he?
He was a defensive lineman.
Yeah, I don't think he made the team.
It was very, very short period of time if he was. Jalen Samuels, I liked him.
Mm-hmm.
He just never really, you only seen him a lot of times in preseason, and I started to like him, but he kind of, I don't know, he kind of fell off. He never really made those steps.
Why was I calling him Warren? Why did I keep calling him Jalen Warren?
You're a fucking nut.
I'm a nut, but Jalen Samuels, he played here for a little bit, special team.
Yeah. Marcus Allen again, not really. Chuck Okafor, you made a good point. He worked his way as a starter. Good for him. I mean, that's what you want to see. You want to see that from your draft picks, especially from 3 down. If they're not going to be starters, you want to see that progress being made. Give that to him. Mason Rudolph, he is what he is. He was a backup again. He was supposed to be something decent coming out of college, and nobody. And you know what? In that flat head that he got by
Miles
fight,
Garrett.
so James Washington,
he won us a couple games.
James Washington, he was another one. Whenever James Washington and what's the guy we have now that Deontay, when they were on the field, I felt no confidence in that core right there. Those 2 guys, there was something about them. They were almost too athletic or something. That their hands, I don't know, they seem like they're a little bit too good for their hands, or they're too
Washington. Like, it was funny, like when Ben wasn't in there, Washington would make plays. I don't think Ben ever trusted. I don't think he had a good rapport with Ben. That's not like a knock on Ben. I just think Ben had a better relationship with the other receivers there and trusted them more. And
Terrell Edmonds, he was a starter. He was a safety. That's what we went for with him. I don't know. I give it a C. I don't think this is. It was an average draft. I thought, in my opinion, nothing great. What do you say? D plus?
C plus.
C plus. Yeah. So,
I like anything that I'm thinking you're getting 2 starters for. I take that a key special team, at least, 2 special teams players. I'll take that. A backup quarterback who won you a couple games when he was in. It's what it is. It was a B.
All right. Also, let's see. Jarvis, Mike.
I had high hopes for him, but I was like, also that spinal stenosis, man. When I read that on his draft profile, and everyone was like, yeah, that's what Stone Cold had. I'm like, yeah, in an industry where they protect you, you can't keep going it, but we're gonna get a pro football player with it.
I sent you something else, Ryan.
What was it, Derp?
Well, It's a picture of a man.
Picture of a man.
Yes, from the Steelers.
A picture of a man, that narrows it down.
Yeah. The godfather of the Steelers.
Who is the godfather of the Steelers, Derpy?
Rooney.
Which Rooney?
Oh,
the original.
yeah.
6
Was it
years
today
ago
the anniversary?
Oh, it was 6 years ago today. Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Of Dan Rooney?
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of Rooney,
no, Art Rooney was the godfather.
Art Rooney.
Yeah, Art Rooney was the godfather. He was dead. He's been dead for a while.
Speaking of the Rooneys,
But Dan, the brother.
Dan, the son.
Being around forever. Yeah. You guys want to try to figure something out? The Steelers and the Eagles both came in the league in 1933. But there were 6 teams that were older than them. You guys want to try to guess who they were?
Chicago Bears.
Chicago Bears were the second oldest team. They came in 1919. That is correct.
Green Bay Packers.
The third oldest team, and it came in 1920.
Cleveland Browns.
Incorrect.
Ooh.
The Giants, New York Football Giants.
The New York Football Giants, they come in at number 4 in 1925. So we found 2, 3, and 4, which were the Bears, Packers, Giants. We're looking for 1, 5, and 6. Oldest teams.
Lions.
The Lions are 5 with 1929. So we're looking for the first, the oldest team.
Cowboys got to be on there.
They are not older than the Steelers, the Cowboys.
Wow.
I'm looking for the first and the 6th. Bears, Packers, Giants,
Vikings?
Lions. No.
Bills.
Mm-mm. I think once you hear this one, you're going to kick yourself because I think it's an obvious one. But the other one, I just think is interesting. The oldest.
It's not the Bengals, not the Browns.
2 Bears, 3 Packers, 4
Colts?
Giants, 5 Lions. Who is it?
Yeah, the Colts.
The Colts is not.
Dolphins.
Not one of the oldest 8 teams. I'll give you a hint.
Jets?
No.
No, as soon as I said it.
No.
1 and 6. We're looking for the oldest team ever. Started in 1898, where the Bears, the second oldest team, started in 1919, which makes me wonder who the hell this first team was playing for 20 years. But that's a conversation for a whole other day.
Washington
is number 6 at 1932. So we have the Bears at 2, Packers at 3, Giants 4, Lions 5, Washington 6, Eagles, Steelers tied at 7. I'm looking for the oldest team ever, a team that came
Kansas
in
City
1898. No.
1898.
1898.
Eagles.
They playing the Confederacy?
Houston? No, not Houston.
It wouldn't be Eagles, right?
No.
Okay.
Patriots
Eagles are tied with the Steelers.
Wouldn't it be the Patriots?
1933, the Steelers and Eagles.
Oh my God.
I'll give you another second because we're getting close here on time. In 1898, this team is the oldest team ever.
Rams?
Mm-mm.
I'm having a mental block. I'm going
The Cardinals.
Cardinals.
Wow.
That's right. They moved from east to west. They kept moving across the country.
Yes. The Cardinals in 1898. The Bears in 1919.
Because they were the Chicago Cardinals, weren't they?
They were. Number
God
3,
damn it.
the Packers in 1920. Number 4, the Giants in 1925. Wow. Number 5, the Lions in 1929. Number 6, Washington in 1932. And again, tied at 7 are the Steelers and the Eagles at 1933. The oldest team is the Cardinals. Oldest team ever.
They were all up in that area, like Chicago, and everyone was clumped in that area.
Yeah.
I forgot about the Cardinals. They were Started east and went west.
I'm going to lateral back one moment. I want to talk about a few things with the USFL before we move on, guys, because we are getting close late on time here. The captains, Mike, I do want to mention they released the captains for the Pittsburgh Maulers. The Pittsburgh Maulers. Now, if you go on our site, on any of our social media sites, I did put up the 2023 fan theme nights, which I think is really cool. Guys, I circled on my calendar for June 10th, I'm sorry, week 9, June 10th is the Pittsburgh Maulers bobbleheads. The first 2,000 fans up at Canton Arena, up at the stadium up there at the Hall of Fame, they get Maulers bobbleheads. I can't under any circumstances see me not making it to that game, especially if you're a collector and especially if you like bobbleheads. This will be a cool one to get to. Again, that is on June 10th, but we do have the whole theme list on our social media pages. You can check that out. And then we also have listed the captains of the team. Garrett Groshek and Braden Patton are the offensive captains for the Pittsburgh Maulers. The defensive captains are Boogie Roberts and Bryce Torneden are your defensive captains for the Pittsburgh Maulers. And finally, your special teams captains, guys, are Malcolm Elmore and Matt Mengel. These guys are the special team captains. We're going to start talking about this team a little bit more now that the season is on Sunday. We got to get familiar with these names. I'm going to be pulling some more out tomorrow. And we're gonna let him.
Boogie Roberts.
Boogie Roberts, baby.
Boogie Roberts looks like Boogie Roberts.
Yes, he does.
He looks how you think Boogie Roberts,
like Booger McFarlane.
Yes. Yes. I love it.
Mike, why don't you tell everybody about the website?
Dumyinzers.com. The number 2 DUMYINZERS. And as Ryan said, yes, if you click on there is the link to the Facebook, the link to the Twitters, the Instas, the YouTube, Spotify. It's everything you need for 2 Yinzers at 2dumyinzers.com. And if you click under the merchandise store, it'll take you to our merchandise store over at spreadshop.com. But yes, 2dumyinzers.com.
There you go. Everybody go check it out. www.2dumyinzers.com. All kind of awesome stuff over there, as Mike said. And there you could also get an update on my paper cut. Yeah. I know everybody has been worried about it the past 24 hours. I know that I certainly have. I am still fighting this paper cut, but I'll get by, guys.
You fighting for your life?
Fighting for my life. 2-minute warning, guys. Ready for a little trivia?
Yes.
All right, here we go. This is a Pittsburgh playoffs trivia. Of course, everybody knows the Penguins got eliminated last night from the playoffs. So this, guys, is a Pittsburgh playoffs trivia. How confident are you with a Pittsburgh playoffs trivia, Mike?
I'm all right.
What about you, Derpy? Pittsburgh
50-50.
playoffs, 50-50. All right, so here we go. Question of the day, Pittsburgh playoffs. What was the last year that all 3 pro Pittsburgh sports teams missed the playoffs? Of course, I'm talking Steelers, Penguins, Pirates. The question one more time. What was the last year that all 3 Pittsburgh sports teams missed the playoffs the same year? Think about that one for a second.
1984.
1984. Is that true?
It's just the first date that popped into my head.
Yeah, okay, that's a good guess. How about you, Derpy?
1983.
1984 and 1983. 1984 and 1983 is what Mike and Derpy are saying was the last year that all 3 of the Pittsburgh teams did not make the playoffs in the same year. Again, what was the last year all 3 pro teams missed the playoffs? Mike says 1984. Derpy says 1983. The answer, guys, is 2003.
Oh, no.
No crap.
2003. Yes.
Talk about a spoiled fan base. We thought we had to go back 40 years to find something.
Yeah.
No, it was
the year.
Just a bit off on that one.
we just lost to Tennessee the year prior in the game where Dwayne Washington runs into the kicker. The flop. It was the following year. The Penguins weren't good yet. They were still pretty bad. They were working on getting them high draft picks. And the Pittsburgh Pirates obviously were not in there. And That, guys, was the last time that all three Pittsburgh teams were not in the playoffs. 20 years
that
ago.
makes sense, though.
Absolutely, man. It's wild. I would have went a lot deeper as well,
because
and I was very surprised that it was only 20 years ago. It was in your lifetime, Derpy. I when I initially read the question, I didn't think it would be in your lifetime.
Wow.
And I thought to myself,
Derpy,
I was like,
and I thought to myself, Derpy
7.
is not going to be able to get it because
I was like 7.
Yeah, I thought that you were going to say, well, I wasn't even born yet, but you know what? It was definitely in your lifetime. There you have it, everybody. 2003. Derpy, what's the wise word for the day, my man?
The Pittsburgh Steelers didn't cheat to win their Super Bowls. There you go.
That's true. I like it. Our
offensive line was jacked up on steroids in the 70s, Derpy. Allegedly.
Right.
Allegedly.
Those are my wise words.
Mike, wise words before we go.
Hey, we're spoiled fans. Don't be boo-booing that the Penguins lost. Things happen. They'll be back.
Hey, my word of the day is we're from Pittsburgh. We love our sports. And as Mike said, you know what? Every once in a while, we got to have a down year. So, hey, what the hell? Let's just enjoy and appreciate what happened. Pittsburgh Pirates, they start a 4-game set this evening against the Cardinals. Root on the Pirates against the Redbirds. Maybe this team here could be the last savior, because if not, it'll be 20 years from the year exactly that all three Pittsburgh teams do not make the playoffs. If in fact the Pirates do not make it. And now the whole reputation of Pittsburgh sports lies on the Pirates. So there you go, guys. Keep that in the back of your mind.
Oh God, we're screwed, boys. We are screwed.
But hey, everybody, we do thank you for checking us out. We appreciate each and every one of you. We hope that you continue to do so. For Derpy, Mike, Ryan, the two Dum Yinzers,